Hello, welcome to my live stream today, where I'm going to be talking about being a quitter. How does that make you feel? How does it make you feel to quit? You know what I mean? Because that's a thing. That's a thing that we all face, and I think we have a lot of hardwiring around quitting. And does it make you a failure? So I'm going to dive into this head first today, or at least jump in with my feet, because that's what I tend to do. So welcome to my live stream, you guys. Thanks for hopping on live. And this is going to be an awesome one to share out, because for my soul sister entrepreneurs who are in it to win it, who are doing their thing, is that you? Tap some hearts. And if it is, I know that you have other soul sister friends and besties and entrepreneur friends who need to hear this message today. And the reason I know that is because this one is bigger than me. And yes, it's being funneled through me. Thank you for your hearts. So feel free to just take a moment before we get started here, share the video, and I will give you a big virtual high five and shout out, because it's gonna pop up for me right here when people do it and I can see it, which is awesome. I'm standing up and I have my reggae on, and you can't see my my hips here. Thank you, Cindy Maddie. Thank you so much for sharing. Awesome. You know what's super fun is when your friends actually get on live with us. So awesome. So let me see some comments. I like to know that my mic is working and you can hear me. So go ahead and just type, I can hear you, Jaya, or whatever. Say hello to me. Oh, Tony, thank you. Tony Gonzalez, thank you for sharing. And for your hearts. I love it when you dance, Cindy says. Oh, thank you. That's so sweet. I love to dance, but I can't play my music that loud because Facebook doesn't like it. They will get mad at me. So I take it that means I can hear you. Thank you, Tony. I appreciate that. I have my microphone like right underneath my boobs. And I don't know if you can like hear past them. It's a whole thing. So what are people sharing? Sue, they're sharing the video. You just click share right there at the bottom left of your screen and share it out to either specific people or just to your timeline. All right, you guys. So I want to dive into quitting, because what I want to know is, have you ever gotten so far down a path with a focus, with an outcome in mind that you deem successful, and then you start to feel like it may not be right? There's disalignment, and maybe you even feel a little stressed out about that end goal, right? And actually getting there. So what I want to know is, does this sound familiar to you? Have you maybe thought you had to do something? And I'm going to speak specifically to online entrepreneurship, because you guys know that's what I teach. And it's important to me to stay in alignment with that. But honestly, this could be a lot of different places in our lives. Okay. So let me just, Cindy says yes. Let me just introduce myself just in case I have some new people here. Hello. If you're new to me, I'm Jaya Rose from JayaRoseCoaching.com, where I am the visibility queen, helping you get seen for being you. You're leveraging live video and sharing your message in a massive way so you can have the impact and really make the income you desire, which holla is so good, right? And also, when we have the income as the goal, and you can tell me if you resonate with this, but I'm just going to dive into what I quit and tell you guys why I think you should quit too. Which sounds super ballsy, doesn't it? I know it does, but of course I'm going to be flexible about it, because I'm a flexible gal, okay? But I had something I was just launching, and I'll be honest with you, I had an income in mind. And who here sees in this coaching industry that it is so easy to get wrapped up in what the income is going to be? So I should do X, Y, and Z to reach set income, right? And I know for me that in general that does not work. I know that the core desires work a lot better in terms of using those for goals, and yet I still get caught up in the income because we need an income. I am the sole breadwinner in my household, and I support a lot of things. I have 2 employees. I have kids and a husband and a mom who I pay to watch my child. Like, yeah, that shit is real. And it is so easy to feel like that's the reason I need to do what I'm going to do. So I, about 2 months ago, started thinking, okay, what am I going to do next, right? Like, what's my next thing? And right there, I think, is where I got a little bit derailed. Because every program that I've put out, especially the really banging ones like Rock Your Videos, I don't know if any of you have taken it, but it is amazing. 6 weeks to get you like in the right place on your camera and giving your message clearly to the right people, like it's off the chain. I got that as a download when I wasn't even teaching visibility yet. I was still teaching fitness, but I was using video to do that. And I just was taking a walk. I remember when it happened. I was taking a walk with my family and boom, I got this download. And I was like, I need to teach people how to leverage video. Hello. And that was about 7 or 8 or 9 months even before I even launched that program. And it was connected to my visibility business, right? So that in general is how that works for me. I love that because it feels so guided. Brooke says, yes, amazing program. Yeah, Brooke, you Rock Your Videos. But I felt like I needed to have this signature coaching program that isn't my one-on-one and isn't my 6-week Rock Your Videos, but somewhere in between with its investment and also with the content. Like, I felt like I needed to have something that was more accessible to people than the one-on-one, because one-on-one time has to be expensive. Like, your one-on-one time better be expensive. It has to be. But when you leverage the group setting, it's so awesome for everybody because everybody saves money and then you actually make way more money, right? So it's like such a beautiful model that I was like, okay, obviously that's what I'm going to do because that just makes sense. And if you follow some formula online, okay, this is what you should do first, this is what you should do next, this is what you should do next, then that would be awesome. But who here wants to follow a formula? Did you get into your business and seek the freedom that you naturally seek and you were born to live so that you could follow a formula? Because I know sure as hell I did not. I have not been an entrepreneur for 15 years. I've literally never worked for somebody else except in high school. Not because I want to follow some fucking formula. And yet it's still so easy to get caught up in that. So tell me in the comments if this has happened for you, where you look up to people and you think, oh, I'm going to emulate the way they do that. Or you even hire somebody to help you and they tell you some formula that worked for them. You know, things are changing and things are changing rapidly. There was not live video a year ago. And live video is what I've built my business on. And now I teach live video. It wasn't here a year ago. Imagine what's going to happen in a year from now. So if we're stuck following some formula that worked for someone else at some other time, then we are probably missing out on a lot of really amazing opportunities. So I just want to plant that seed because yes, I believe that. And I also get caught up in it, in the money drama that it has to look a certain way. Socrates says, of course not. I am unemployable and must feel it comes from my heart, not a script. Exactly. I know you feel me. Stacy says, ugh, yes, I have been in consumer products for 18 years, yet I'm still like, oh, I need someone to help me. It's so easy to feel like we need the answer from the outside. And even that. So I decided that I was going to launch this program, right? And it was 4 months, 10 to 12 women, $3,500 program, easily a $40,000 launch, and super high value, like totally worth $3,500 for this program because you're gonna get the results. And you're also, in terms of visibility, one thing you guys wanna know is that visibility has a lot to do with your tribe. So we obviously need to be visible to people, right? But when you have other people who are on your team, and if you take a program, like that's what happens in Rock Your Videos, I assign everybody visibility besties, and it makes a huge difference because just having people comment on your stuff makes you more visible, like that. Anyway, so totally worth $3,500. And yet, as I'm going along, I just don't feel it. I just don't feel it, but I keep ignoring it. I move forward. I launch my live event. Did you guys see pictures or videos from my live event? It was amazing. And that felt aligned. It came together easily within 6 weeks. I filled up the space. I didn't make money on it, but I also didn't spend money on it. And I had, you know, amazing women speaking, breakthroughs all around, like really, really amazing. And that felt effortless. But part of why I wanted to do that live event was to launch this Visibility Master Circle strategically, right? The other part is that I felt called to do it. And so when you are a soulful entrepreneur, we have these parallels running all the time, right? What's smart for me to do? What feels aligned? And how do I align those two things? So I was like, no brainer. I'm easily going to be able to sell out 10 spots from my live event. It's not uncommon to be able to sell to 50% of your audience at a live event. That's not even crazy. So I thought, well, this is easy. Well, what ended up happening is I sold 2 spots into it, one of them from the live event, but she had also taken Rock Your Videos, so she was super warm to me. She was hot for me. We're buddies, right? Continue on, and I'm just like not feeling it, and I don't know why. And from the outside, everything looks perfect. I have these amazing people. I literally have 5 clarity calls with women who all, I believe, would be like shoo-ins for the program. They're perfect. It's exactly what they need. None of them bought it. None of them. Then I have, let's see, there was one more thing. Then I had also launched frickin' masterclass that had 150 people signed up. You know, I was like, this will be easy to fill these spots because it's in alignment. Nobody, not one, even booked a free call. And I was like, okay, the fuck? Like, really? What is happening? And so I just continued forward. I'm still launching and I'm still talking about, I'm still showing up. And it's just like, it's like this, you guys. It's like picking water up and you're like, why the fuck is it not in my hand? What is happening? And it just falls through. It's gorgeous, isn't it? It's gorgeous what water does, because water goes to the most open place, doesn't it? Anytime there's water, it's going to go bam, bam, bam. It's going to go the flow. It's going to go with the flow that's been there the longest. It's going to go into the ground. It's going to seep in deep. It's going to waterfall its way down and create craters. It's insane how powerful it is. And I just love the analogy, because when we're trying to catch water in our hands, it's just so easy to feel like you're failing, right? Tap some hearts if you know what I mean. Have you ever felt this way? You're trying so hard to catch this frickin' water in your hands, and of course it doesn't stick. Socrates says, Visibility Master Circle, love that. Yeah, I know, it's hot. Maybe it'll happen at some point. So it's just that when things are not aligned and we feel like we should be doing them, because now I have 3 experts, I built a sales page, I do have 2 people who paid me for this program. It has to go. It has to work. But does it? But does it? I don't know. What I do know is that every single thing I say yes to in my life, and the same for you, you're clearly saying no to something else. So what do I want my time and energy and space to look like? And how do I want to feel? Because I know one thing for sure. I don't want to feel like I'm trying to catch water in my hands, and like I'm a failure. Because if you know me at all, you know I'm obviously not a failure, but I might be a quitter. And I most definitely am a quitter. And I don't think there's anything wrong with it. So yesterday, I walked into the kitchen after I got off. Actually, what happened? I think I had a call scheduled. It was like the final one where I was like, okay, like even if 4 women join, like this is still going to be amazing. It's still going to be an awesome program. So I'm like, went from 12 to 4. I'm like, it's still awesome. It's still awesome. And then I go to get on the call and, oh, I remember. It just like, I felt like I had to like convince her that this is right for you. And I don't do that. Like, that is not my style. Anybody who's ever been on a clarity call with me, like, we will chat. Like, let's chat it up. Let's see where you're at. I sometimes don't even make an offer to people. And I certainly don't fucking beg people to come into my program. Absolutely not. So that it even felt like that really freaked me out. Socrates says, that's why I only build teams of women. I understand. You must be a very sensitive man, obviously. So I got off this call and I was like, what? Like, please tell me. Violet says, I love that you're doing this. Most entrepreneurs don't talk about this. I had a moment like this a few weeks ago where something didn't line up and I said, nope. And I learned that flow, and then it cuts off your message. But yeah, flow, girl, is so good. And you know when you're not flowing, like, you know it, but it's really hard to get back into it until you let go, right? But that's a process. So I needed to go through this process, and I'm grateful for it, of course, because I learned a lot, and I certainly will be doing it differently, in the future, in the now. So I walked into the kitchen and I said these words to my husband, which I've probably hardly ever said, and they sound fucking ridiculous when they come out of my mouth. But I just said, I feel like I'm failing. And as I said it, I'm like, those words, they don't even stick to me. Like, it doesn't even feel like me when I say that. And yet, in a sense, I was failing at creating this course. I was failing at getting 12 women in. I was failing at my $40,000 launch. And as soon as I recognized that, I got to choose something different. And it was literally within 3 minutes probably. I think I walked into the bedroom and I was like, I'm stewing, right? I'm like, what is happening? And I walked back in the kitchen and I was like, I could cancel it and I could refund those ladies their money, but I also could offer them something else because they both want what I have to offer. So I could just offer them something else that's in alignment with what they want and what they paid, right? Because I already have collected like $4,500 for this program. As soon as I said that, I was like, oh, hell yes. This feels good. And it felt good again, which is just, I know that might sound small, but it's not small because it's making me cry. It feels like the ultimate in freedom to say there is no such thing as failure. There is no such thing as doing it wrong. There is only alignment and disalignment, flow or hustle. And it constantly is a choice for all of us. And it's incredible. And that's why I feel a responsibility to show up and talk to you about this, because it is under talked about. And I can tell you all of my successes, and I can tell you how much I made last quarter. And you might be like, oh, Jaya's great. And that's awesome. But I'm real. And these are my real struggles. And they also are my greatest gifts to be able to share this. Tony says, no such thing as failure. Let it out. Yes, it does need to come out. Luciana says, oh, you are making me cry. Thank you for sharing this. So what I decided is I let go of it. I'm moving into April, and I was talking to my good friend Jackie McDonald. If you guys know her, she is the best person to talk to because she's so empathic. She teaches tapping, which is like the ultimate in self-love. And she said to me, Jaya, this next month coming up is the 1-year anniversary of your dad dying. And maybe you just needed some space around this month. And it hit me like a ton of bricks as she said that to me. I just started crying listening to her message. And I thought, what the hell? I was going to launch this and start this program April 17th. My dad passed away April 15th. It'll be 1 year. We probably could foreshadow and guess that I'm going to have some feelings come up because it's coming up out of me right now. Because grief is not something that just disappears in 1 year. It grows and it strengthens in a lot of ways. And it morphs. And so I realized, you know what? I could just take April off. I could easily take April off. In fact, I'm not doing my $40,000 master circle for the money. Ultimately, I'm not even doing it for the money. Of course, I need to make the money because as I described earlier, I have to pay for everything, right? But that's not ultimately why I'm doing it. I'm doing it because I feel called to do it and it's in the highest and best for everybody involved. And what I realized is it's not in the highest and best because my end game is not to be an online business coach. This is a transient position for me and it's amazing. But what I'm going to do, what I'm leaping towards, what my path is to be a thought leader and to really share my gifts of self-love and connection with spirit and the feeling of truly living your life in your purpose. And this is amazing because I get to do that. I get to be here on Facebook Live with you. And I get to launch a program like Rock Your Videos that gets other future thought leaders and current thought leaders out more, because this is the way of the future. This is how we can still stay connected as we are all so isolated. As we thumb through our Facebook, thank God we can have some realness and some real connection and people standing up and really talking about the truth. So for me, it's about speaking on stage. It's about writing a book. It's about getting out there, sharing my message in an even bigger way. So I don't need to follow the model of all the other business coaches. I don't need to have a mastermind or a master circle just because that's what someone else did. What I need to do is keep my larger vision in check and say, does this help me get there? Is this helping me get there? So what I realized is you can meet me at the corner of my amazing one-on-one support and Rock Your Videos. Because Rock Your Videos already is my signature program and it's only $9.97. It's not some huge investment and it's freaking amazing. So I'm gonna rock with that. I'm gonna keep going with that. I'm gonna have a huge launch next month. And my mission really is to empower other women to share their message in a big way. It's what it's all about. It's about using your voice, using your story and your inner power and your magnetism and your vibrancy and your vibe to attract the right people to you who need to hear what you have to say. And that's the power of what video can do. So getting my message out there and doing that, this has gotten me speaking gigs. I've already started my speaking career because of Facebook Live. So that's the higher vision for me. And it just feels so good to not feel like I have to do what everyone else does or follow that formula or put myself in a box or a script and say, oh, that's the only way to success. Because ultimately, like I said, this is not my end game. Whose end game is this, right? We are always evolving and we are always growing, and when we can keep our eye on that larger vision and always ask ourselves the question, is this supporting me in moving towards my larger vision? Is this ultimately the highest and best for all? And we know what those answers feel like. You know a yes and a no in your body. And so I'm working on that. I'm getting better at it, more refined, and willing to say no to things that I already am really invested in, that I already made money doing, that seem like the logical next step. I'm willing to say no to that so I can say yes to something much bigger and more aligned. And that is the core of this story right here. And what I hope in sharing this is that there may be some place in your life that this sparks for you and says, yeah, I could say no to that, so I can say yes to this larger vision that supports more people, more impact, more message being shared, because that's how we're going to change the world. That's how conscious, soulful entrepreneurs are changing the world. So thank you guys so much. If you loved this message, share this video with your soul family, because we all need to hear the channeled messages that are coming through, and share your own story as well. So thank you for being here. And if you're not in my Facebook group, come on over there, because I'm always dropping nuggets and talking about visibility, because you know what? Visibility for the win. It is amazing. You can do that by clicking my cover photo. All right, you guys, thank you so much for being here, and I will see you on my next live stream. Bye.